Alright guys, in today's video, let's talk about where to pull up rep ranges and which one you should train in to get the results you desire. So let's dive right into today's video. I've actually done a video in the past talking about rep ranges and I'll link it in one or two upper corners, I don't know which one. But this video is going to be specifically about where to pull up training and which rep range you should train in to get the result that you want. So let's dive right into today's video. And when you're doing resistance training, you pretty much have three main rep ranges that you can train in, and let's go over each and every one of those very briefly. Let's start out with the strength rep range. This pretty much is going to cover everything in between 1 and 5 reps, where you're going to be doing high weight, high resistance for a relatively low amount of reps. When you're doing this type of training, you are pretty much learning and teaching your body to handle very heavy loads, to handle very heavy weight, and the result of that is that you're predominantly gonna get stronger, because handling heavier loads is going to get you better at handling heavier loads. AKA, if your goal is to build a very heavy 1 rep max, if you want to be pushing for 3 or 4 plates, 60-80 kilo weighted pull-ups, the bulk of your sets are going to be done in the 1 to 5 rep range. And also, if you want to become more explosive, getting a higher 1 rep max is going to be beneficial for you, because the more weight you can pull, the more explosive you're going to be when you're going to be doing muscle ups and explosive pull-ups. And also, the more explosive you are, theoretically you should have a higher 1 rep max. And then let's go into the hypertrophy rep range, aka roughly in between 5 and 15 reps. This rep range is going to be ideal for you if your goal is to build muscle and size. You will still build some strength in this rep range, however longer time under tension and really exhausting the muscle is going to be more in favor of hypertrophy, aka building muscle. So if your goal is to build additional muscle and size, you have to stick in between 5 and 15 reps for the majority of your sets in your training. And then let's cover the endurance rep range. Pretty much anything above 15 reps is going to fall in this category. When you go above 15, 20 and 25 reps, what you're going to be doing is mainly some endurance training. That means that you're going to be really teaching your body to perform one movement for long periods of time, and it's really going to teach your body to deal with the lactic acid buildup in your muscles when doing these very high rep sets. And obviously, training for endurance is going to get you better at endurance training. So if you want to really get better at high rep sets, this is the kind of rep range that you have to do the majority of your sets in. And one last side note to all the rep ranges: those are guidelines, not exact numbers, because what you will find is that if you train in the hypertrophy rep range, you will still build strength and probably build some endurance as well. It is just going to be more in favor of hypertrophy. Same goes with strength. When you're training in a strength rep range, the majority of the time, you will still build muscle and to an extent still build endurance, but it's just going to be mainly focused on strength training. And then also one more thing, the less reps you do in each and every single set, the more sets you actually have to do to still elicit some training response. So if you're doing hypertrophy training on weighted pull-ups, it'll be enough to do about 3 sets of about 5 to 15 reps to get a response from your body to the type of training. If you're doing in between 1 and 5 reps, you have to be doing more sets, aka 4, 5 and 6, to still elicit the same training response as from hypertrophy training. So pretty much less reps equals more sets. And now let's talk about which is actually best. And as always, if you guys have watched any of my comparison videos, there is no right answer to that question. What actually determines what rep range that you're training are your goals. And like I just said, if you want to be really pushing for a heavy 1 rep max, you have to work in the strength rep range. If you want to build muscle and more size, work in the hypertrophy rep range. Same goes for endurance training. And like I just talked about, there is still some carryover effect in between those rep ranges. And then lastly, what do I recommend? I recommend that you work in every single rep range throughout your training. That means doing some strength work along with some hypertrophy work and also some endurance work. If you've watched any of my videos up to this point now, you'll know that I am a very big fan of top sets and back off sets. And that means that on my weighted pull-up training, I will start off with one top set, one set in a strength rep range, followed by multiple sets after that, aka the back off sets in the lower part of the hypertrophy range, to pretty much work strength and hypertrophy in the same session. And right now I'm actually not doing any kind of endurance training because I literally don't have any kind of endurance goals, But if you want to get fit and you want to be in shape, it definitely makes sense to also implement some endurance training within your training. And then to finish off, one more recommendation if you are a weighted pull-up beginner. I've actually talked about this in another video, but as a beginner, I would advise you to not go below 5 reps. Because when you're new to this exercise, you don't want to jump right into some strength training. You can stay in the lower part of the hypertrophy range, but really try to build up a nice solid foundation pretty much for a couple of months before really diving into the strength type of things and to really push for heavy 1 rep maxes. Build a solid base first, then go for 1 rep maxes. And in my opinion, you shouldn't even think about testing a 1 rep max until you've done a couple of training blocks, really building up your foundation. And that is going to be the full video for today, guys. Hope you guys actually found it informative or useful in one way or another. For now, thank you guys for watching, and like and subscribe if you guys actually haven't already. If you have any more questions, video ideas or advice, leave it down below in the comment section. Share this video with somebody that you actually think it might help, and follow me on Instagram, and I'll see you guys in the next video. As always, on a Tuesday, Thursday and Sunday, 3 videos a week, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Latest.